What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Sportskeeda's The Debrief. I am your host, Jose G, and next to me is the top chico himself, Rico El Glorioso. Welcome to tonight's show. We got lots to cover on the road to NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver in just 2 weeks. We got a contract signing for an unsanctioned match. Things are shaping up. We also got this Battle Royale Gauntlet Eliminator that nobody knows the rules to. And hopefully, Rico, I'm depending on you to clear that up later on into the show. And we also had a really good TNT Championship match to close out AEW.
Man, what a Wednesday night, bro. WrestleMania weekend, as if we weren't already hyping up for what it is, but stand and deliver. We talked about it before. NXT bringing 2 nights of pay-per-view, and the card really shaped out tonight. I'm so excited to see what they can deliver back-to-back nights. Man, it's going to be a great weekend for WrestleMania.
I'm just saying, for each and every one of you that are watching, you guys better get ready for WrestleMania week, because you guys are going to get nonstop wrestling from Sunday to Sunday for at least a week and a half solid. So I hope you guys are ready, because I am ready. But guys, before we get into tonight's show, make sure you are sharing, and sharing is caring, guys. So make sure you hit that like button. Share tonight's show in your favorite group if you're watching us on Facebook. If you're watching us also on YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up and that subscribe button. Also, that way you never miss a show, a live stream, or a post. And also follow us on Instagram and on Twitter, and post all your questions in the comment sections. We'll be getting to your questions later on into the show. And if this is your first time watching us, make sure you let us know where you're watching us from so we can shout you out while we're reading your comments. All right? Just like this. Philip Chavin watching from New Jersey. Thank you for joining us.
Brother.
So yeah, Rico. So lots went down tonight. We had a NXT tag team women's title match tonight. Just a bunch of stuff went down. But tonight, NXT, but NXT opened up with an NXT tag team match. It was Io Shirai teaming up with Zoe Stark, going up against Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. Very good mix-up. But man, Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai getting the solid win tonight. And what I absolutely loved about the finish of that match is the way how Raquel Gonzalez had was it Io? Was it Zoe? I think it was Zoe, right? No, it was Io.
So she had pinned Zoe, but she took out Io afterwards.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, so she had her. Yeah, she knocked Io out, and then in midair, as she used the momentum, hit that single arm power bomb, bro. It was a thing of beauty, man. And Raquel Gonzalez, man, I think she's gonna take that title away from Io in 2 weeks, bro.
Yo, and the way her hair was like crazy, it looked so good. Like, she looked insanely powerful. Like, she went Super Saiyan for like split second as her hair was like just standing up. But man, she looks amazing.
She was
Zoe Starks. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. But even Zoe Stark showed out, showing that she can hang with Io Shirai and Raquel Gonzalez. So
she did great, man. She's doing awesome.
I can very easily see, just like you were saying, Raquel getting the win over Io, possibly at Stand and Deliver, and Zoe Stark is going to be right behind her looking for a title shot.
Possibly. But it was the way that whole segment ended, how Raquel Gonzalez just smashed Io through the commentators table, just using that, that size advantage over Io. I think that's going to be a huge advantage for her going into Stand and Deliver.
Oh, yeah. Lady showed out tonight, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure, bro. As we go on through the saga of Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, immediately after this first match, there was some security footage shown from Kyle's training gym, and they just started mixing it up in there. So they used the camera footage into the into the promo. Just kind of going back and forth. Later on in the night, during the contract signing, it was revealed that William Regal has the perfect solution. And at Stand and Deliver, in the co-main event of night 2, we are going to get an unsanctioned match between Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, baby.
That is, oof. We've seen the bar already set by Kenny Omega and John Moxley twice, basically, if you count the exploding barbed wire death match.
Well, don't forget last week with
Thunder
Thunder Rosa.
And Britt Baker tear down the house. Like, you had that bar set really, really high. But if there's two guys that could deliver, it's gonna be Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, especially with the story that they've been telling, over the last few weeks with essentially, the fallout of the Undisputed Era. The Undisputed Era is unfortunately no more because Adam Cole even said, without me, the Undisputed Era is nothing. So these guys have a lot of history going into this match, and I'm looking forward to see if they can live up to what we've seen from AEW do, especially after Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. Like, they're going to have to go above and beyond. I can't wait to see what they can pull out.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. And again, Stand and Deliver is I think is gonna be a really, really good event. But someone who doesn't think that's all that, Mr. Phillip does not like the Robert Stone brand. And tonight, the Robert Stone brand's team did have a tag team matchup against the current NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. It was Aaliyah, and the services of Mercedes Martinez were solicited for this matchup, even though she is part of the brand, but still she's like, this is half now and then half after we're done, regardless if we win or if she wins or not. But unfortunately, the team of Robert Stone brand cannot get the win, with Ember delivering a thunderous eclipse to get the win over Aaliyah. Fantastic job they're both doing, but they couldn't celebrate too much because afterwards, backstage, Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae looks like they want to jump in line for those NXT tag team titles. Do we see that matchup at TakeOver?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, you got all these belts. You might as well, make title matches for all of them at Stand and Deliver. This is going to be a great match probably on night one, or if anything, like if it doesn't, one of the early matches night one, that is probably going to be opening up night two. Just because, but there's so many interesting storylines, and they already kind of like broken down how both nights are going to go. But man, like it's going to be hard to fit that one in because there's so many good matches with good storylines going into them that, like it's not good. There's not going to be one of those like downer matches, the relaxed matches. Go get popcorn.
No, not with this.
You're going to be watching every single second because each match is going to deliver.
Both nights too. The first night and the second night. Now, one matchup in particular that's really involving every single storyline that's going on besides the main storyline of the NXT title is got to be this Battle Royal Gauntlet Eliminator that we got going on. So, from what I understand of this Gauntlet Eliminator, because it includes a lot of people that were in matchups tonight, but it's going to start off as a battle royal. So the last 6 people who survive the battle royal move on to the Gauntlet Eliminator, where each competitor comes out every 3 minutes.
Yes, so we're going to get the battle royal, and then on night one of Stand and Deliver is going to be that gauntlet match, just like you said, every 3 minutes, but it's going to be in order of the eliminations. So whoever
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so whoever's the 7th person essentially eliminated in the battle royal will be out first. Follow it all the way down to the winner.
So the last person is the last entry in the gauntlet.
Correct. The winner of the gauntlet match of the battle royal itself will be the last participant in the gauntlet match.
I feel bad for the competitor that has to go through that. To face Johnny Gargano, bro,
on the next night, because that's night 2.
But dude, that's tough, bro. Because you got to not only just get a win in the battle royal, but you also have to win a gauntlet. So let's say theoretically, the person that gets eliminated third or fourth that's already been in the battle royal, for let's say 20-something, 30-something all minutes, right? They get eliminated, but then they survive the gauntlet. They run the entire gauntlet. And that running a gauntlet, it is not easy. That's easily an hour, maybe 45 minutes, depending on how they book it. Mm-hmm. But I feel bad for that competitor because Johnny Gargano's complaining to William Regal that how is this fair to him? I need to know who my opponent is at least 20 days ahead of time so I can, study tape and, get ready, which I can sympathize with because, as a former fighter, I got to be prepared for my opponent. So that's kind of like a little bit of BS where they kind of just, I don't know who my opponent is until 24 hours before my matchup. And the only advice that William Regal can give him is like, study all of them.
Yeah, but when you look at the list, like, all right, he's already faced off against Dexter. He's already gone against Leon Ruff. He's gone against Kushida. Everyone. Yeah. So he actually knows them pretty well. It's just going to be,
I think the only people he hasn't gone up against LA Knight. He hasn't gone up. Has he gone up against Theory? Yes, he has gone up against. No,
but it's his boy, so obviously he's going to be rooting for Austin Theory. So Austin's going to be the 6-1 eliminated. He's going to just miss the cut, just because
that might be the matchup. It might be Theory versus Gargano.
No, man, it's not going to be that. You got so many good matches though.
No, yeah, you do.
It's come down to like Pete Dunne, Dexter, Bronson. No, Dexter probably will get eliminated by Austin Theory too. It's probably going to be. Yeah, either Pete Dunne or LA Knight or even Bronson Reed. I would see as like the last three that's going to come down to.
Well, guys, let us know of your early predictions. I mean, it's just to kind of name off some of the people who are in this battle royal.
I love these guys.
We have Dexter Lumis, Cameron Grimes, Leon Ruff, LA Knight, Bronson Reed, Tyler Rust, Kushida, Roderick Strong, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Jake Atlas, Austin Theory, and Pete Dunne. So out of all of those, take an early pick on who's your early favorite to face Johnny Gargano at TakeOver, Stand and Deliver.
Cameron Grimes got to take this opportunity to the moon, Jose. To the moon.
Just like his business proposal to Roderick Strong during his backstage promo, where, man, he just got decked in the face because he's trying to buy the Undisputed Era rights, which, you know what? If you would have tried to do that 2 years ago, that would have been smart. But now that, that it's fizzled out, there's really no new members, it's a really poor business decision, Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm looking at myself. What happened to your camera, Rico?
Hold on 1 second.
I'm looking at myself. What's going on here?
There we go.
There we go.
Yes. So, he's trying to get into the ground floor, just like he did with GameStop, and he took the GameStop stocks to the moon. Yeah, he did kind of hit this train a little late leaving the station, especially at the end of the Undisputed Era. But Jose, that's not how you handle business around here, as he was screaming as he was just writhing in pain from being punched into the face by one Roderick Strong.
Yeah, man. Now, dude, let's talk about one of my favorite matchups that's going to go down at TakeOver, which looks like we're going to get a ladder match.
Oh, man.
And I'm talking about the unification title for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, Jordan Devlin versus Santos Escobar. Man, that was an awesome. This is going to be awesome. I'm really hyped up for it. We did get to see Jordan Devlin go up against Kushida earlier in the night in what I thought was just a surprise roll-up, and I wouldn't be surprised if this matchup ends up being a triple threat match in a ladder match.
Oh, no. You got to keep it one-on-one. You got to keep it between Santos Escobar and Jordan Devlin.
Dude,
you got undisputed NXT Cruiserweight Champion. You don't want anybody else in that one.
True, but the way how things ended in that matchup, where Legado del Fantasma got involved and pretty much cost Kushida the win, because Jordan Devlin was able to get a beautiful roll up, by the way, with the extended bridge and pinning the legs. It was just a beautiful, beautiful roll up, and he was able to get that sneaky win. But that does not sit well with Kushida.
No, but that's why I wouldn't be surprised if the winner, whoever comes out as the undisputed NXT Cruiserweight Champion, the next person they should face should be Kushida. I don't think Kushida's going to win the Battle Royal, but he would make a good opponent for especially getting a legit match against Jordan Devlin without having any interference from Legado del Fantasma.
Now, what I absolutely loved about the closing moments of this actual promo is that the Heartbreak Kids music goes off in the Capitol Wrestling Center. And I'm just taken by surprise. Like, yeah, I know he trains there and he teaches, but what in the world he's out there for? Come to find out, he goes straight to the ring, goes under the ring, pulls out the ladder, shoves the ladder inside the ring, pretty much signaling that this is the way that you guys should solve your problem, your match, with a ladder. The innovator of the ladder match, the Heartbreak Kid himself. How did you feel about the Shawn Michaels showing up on NXT tonight, Rico?
Oh, man. I'm over here watching AEW, taking the notes, and then I heard the I was like, wait, what? So I immediately lowered the volume on AEW, and I just started watching. So it's great to see HBK. We know that he's there behind the scenes. He's essentially Triple H's right-hand man when it comes to NXT, especially him and the Road Dogg. So it was great to see him, especially the history that he has with ladder matches, being the one to really announce essentially that it's going to be a ladder match for the undisputed NXT Cruiserweight Championship. So I thought that was a really nice touch, and it grabbed my attention. As soon as that music hit, I had to see what's going on.
I mean, whose attention would it not grab? I mean, it's HBK, for God's sakes.
Mm-hmm. And especially on NXT too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So overall, man, NXT was great. I did really enjoy LA Knight's match tonight with Bronson Reed. LA Knight, bro. Give me more. Even though he took a loss tonight, and I was okay. And I was okay with it, but that tsunami from Bronson Reed is something out of this world. However, man, LA Knight really showed me something different that he hasn't really shown me before. And the way that he can handle and work inside with a big man like Bronson Reed and the athleticism, man, unbelievable. LA Knight, dude. And speaking of LA Knight, viewers, some of our fans, Philip Chavin, he's saying that LA Knight's going to be the one to face Johnny Gargano as well as Ozzy Medeiros. So what did you think of LA Knight versus Bronson Reed tonight? Because I thought that was a really good match for them.
Yeah, just like you said, especially his, being in the ring with the bigger guy in Bronson Reed. So yeah, it's crazy to think that his in-ring debut in NXT is a loss. But it's against, another competitor in this gauntlet match, which might set up just like, these guys like Philip and Ozzy are saying in the chat. This could sneakily win his way into the gauntlet match and could possibly wind up winning the entire thing. And I would not be mad to see an LA Knight versus Johnny Gargano match for the NXT North American Championship.
I think that could be a banger right there, bro. But speaking of bangers of matches, bro, Walter just completely decimating Drake. Somebody should make funeral arrangements for that man because poor guy, he got buried.
It could have been worse. He could have had a huge hand imprint on his chest, and he avoided that. So
listen, I thought he was going to have the handprint on his torso for the rest of his life. But this all just really led into Tommaso Ciampa coming in and challenging Walter for the NXT UK Championship at Stand and Deliver. And, Ciampa's like, oh, you're not going to take me seriously? He just starts slapping the shit out of Walter. He's like, nope. He gets jumped by all of them. He gets thrown into the ropes and then he gets held by Marcel and the other dude, I forget the blonde, the bald good dude's guy.
Fabian Eichner.
Fabian. So both, so they're both holding onto Ciampa, and Walter just lays in, bro, that cast iron skillet of a hand that he has, and just imprints it on his chest. Wow.
Man, could you imagine the upset if we could get Ciampa doing a little NXT UK run for a little bit?
That might be, dude. Why? That might be the case. That just might be the case.
So I'm assuming then, because doesn't I think Walter has a match coming up with Rampage Brown, not too far off for the NXT UK Championships, but we'll see. We'll see if it ends up being Tommaso Ciampa. He takes a little break from the US, goes to the UK for a little bit. We'll see, but we do have some unfortunate news to mention, and that is the health of one Danny Burch, who unfortunately had a separated shoulder. And man, the x-ray that they showed did not look good. I don't think a shoulder is supposed to look like that when you have all these bones crossing. It's not good. Unfortunately, he had, they were stripped of the NXT Tag Team Championships, him and Oney Lorcan, who had the match with Karrion Kross too. So, poor guy has to go up against that too.
Man, but that matchup was good though. Like, did you see the welts on Karrion's neck?
You know how stiff Oni is, so it made having to take those shots makes Karrion look even more of a badass, being able to take those hits, setting up the match with Finn Balor. And I did like the graphic that they showed at the end. But the one good thing is we are going to get a triple threat match at Stand and Deliver for the NXT Tag Team Championships between MSK, grizzled young veterans, and Legado del Fantasma,
soon to be recognized as NXT's number one.
Oh, man, so that's going to be another hype match.
Yeah, man. And like I said, both nights of Stand and Deliver are looking very, very promising. And overall, tonight's show, NXT show, was pretty good, just because we're getting that much closer to what WrestleMania week, and usually NXT is the catapult to NXT week to get hyped up for that weekend. And so far, they are delivering, and I am excited for these next couple of weeks because, man, it's so much wrestling, bro. So much wrestling.
It's gonna be a fun, man. Really, the go home shows to Stand and Deliver. You can only imagine what they're gonna pull out just to make sure people tune in to both nights of the very packed WrestleMania week.
Yeah, because the first night will be on USA Network and the second night will be on Peacock. So if you're not subscribed to Peacock, and no sponsorship here, but if you're not subscribed to Peacock, you really need to. I mean, they got some really good deals. I think it's like $250 a month now or something like that. I don't know, but you really need to. But guys, we are about to move into the AEW part of the show. And if you're just tuning in, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button. If you're watching us on Facebook, share the show in your favorite wrestling group. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button and the subscribe button so you never, ever miss a post or a live stream. So Rico, tonight on AEW, we had some really good matches. The opening match, man, that world title eliminator with Kenny Omega and Mike Sydal. Tell me about that matchup, because I saw a little bit, but I didn't have the volume on because I was having issues with TNT tonight. I don't know what the heck's going on. But
luckily, TNT, at least for me, worked out better this week than it did last week, because I felt like halfway through the show, there was that audio drop, which was really, really weird. I thought it was me. And so I heard other people had the same issue, so I didn't feel as bad. But yeah, so this was, Kenny Omega finally living up to his deal. His match against Matt Sydal. If Matt gets the win, he has a shot at the AEW Championship, thanks to Tony Khan, telling Kenny he can't go back on his word. So it was a really interesting matchup, especially, with these two guys, immensely talented. We know what Evan Bourne, aka Matt Sydal, can do, how good he is at high flying and selling some of these moves, especially like when he was on the top turnbuckle and was getting knocked off by Kenny. He wound up doing this like hit and then he flipped. He could have technically landed on his feet, but he was supposed to be hit by the move, so he had to like roll over and all this stuff. So it was a really entertaining match, good back and forth. There were some moments where you thought Matt could actually get the win, especially with some of the reversals that he had for Kenny, going for the V trigger and going for the snapdragon. But of course, it wasn't enough. He winds up, Kenny Omega hits a V trigger, hits the one winged angel, which they finally admitted that somebody had kicked out of it, because Don Callis kept saying no one ever kicks out of it. Even Excalibur was, until he admitted today that only one person has. Nobody in AEW though, even though technically, like I think it was Dragon Lee that also raised his hand out of it, but then you can tell. Yeah, it's all weird, but it's the most protected move in professional wrestling at this point. But props to Matt Sydal. He held his own against the AEW champion. It was not his night though, and that's not the last we're gonna get of Kenny Omega, because he wants to get involved in like all the different storylines, which we'll get to a little bit later. But we got to talk about one of the NXT alums who's officially, making a true Dynamite debut in Cesar Bononi going up against Hangman Adam Page. We all kind of know what's happening here. As much as, you like to see somebody from NXT really be able to thrive in AEW, it's all about Hangman. Hangman's going to continue his winning streak until he is eventually going to get a shot at his former tag team champion partner in Kenny Omega later on down the line. But, it was nice to see Cesar actually, hold his own against someone like Adam Page. So
what if Adam Cole is the one true person that is the one that actually kicks out of the OWA?
Oh, have Adam Page Hangman just ends up getting out of
the
it?
one. Have him be the one.
I think they're gonna keep alluding to it until that moment that it happens, and it's like, oh
yeah. I think if they can pull it off, where he fully kicks out, not just like a or he
fully
kicks
out.
Yeah. Like if he kicks out, oh man, that's your next star right there. I mean, I've always said that Adam Page should have really been the face of AEW. He should have been the one to win that title off of Jericho in the inaugural championship match.
Yeah.
But who am I?
But, they were slow playing it. They didn't want to make it seem like, AEW is going to be about us, and by us meaning the elite. You don't want to put the Young Bucks into, give them the titles right away. Same thing with Hangman, except for Cody, who wound up being the first TNT champion, but that's another story. But yeah, they didn't want to make it about themselves, so I like that they slow played it, and they're still slow playing this one because you could tell, little by little, it's going to build up to that rematch. And then after Kenny goes through his belt collector phase, as he does have a match against the Impact champion in Rich Swann for a title versus title match, I could assume when you're on the downturn from him collecting all the belts, that he's eventually going to drop the AEW one to Adam Page. It makes all the sense in the world. But, from that superstar who should be the face of the company to the one that's the face of the women's division, and that is one Dr. Britt Baker, D.M.D. And of course, they had a nice look back at the match, the unsanctioned match between her and Thunder Rosa last week, showing the interview that they had afterwards with Thunder Rosa. So much emotion. You could tell she was just so proud, and they both deserve they did
really good.
Yes. They put on an amazing match, and you could tell she felt that, and just giving all that pride in that promo, I thought was awesome in that interview. And then cut to tonight, where we had Tony Schiavone interviewing Britt Baker, and of course, he's trying to give props to, hey, everybody give her a round of applause for the amazing match, and just very hushed, celebration for her, which now Britt Baker turns that into another good heel promo, and man, she talks about Tony Khan is over here looking for legends everywhere, aka, Christian Cage, Paul White, Sting, but you have a legend underneath your nose right here. Even calling out Mick Foley, oh yeah, he gave me the applause and the thumbs up for the match, but guess what? It took you 20 years to become a hardcore legend. It took me one night. And then, of course, afterwards, she's making sure everybody knows that the three most important letters in AEW and pretty much in all of women's wrestling right now is D.M.D.
I'm really enjoying what she's doing, man, and it was the right decision. She put on a banger of a match with Thunder Rosa. Even Thunder Rosa got the win. It was just really all about Britt Baker.
Yeah.
This was really all about just kind of letting her showcase what she can really do. And just like you said last week, the money shot with the face all bloodied up, with the blood in the eyes. Print that out and sell me that shirt. I want it.
And in the line in that promo too, just gushing blood on my face, in my eyes, yet I've never been able to see more clearly. I was like, well played, Britt. That was a really great promo from her. And to keep it on the women's division, we did have Ty Conti get the huge upset over Nyla Rose.
So happy for her.
I was ecstatic, bro.
Yes, I was very happy for Tay Conti. She got a win on AEW Elevation last week, and I think on Dynamite, she's just been eating them L's. And tonight to get a win on a former AEW World Champion. That's
Mm-hmm.
huge. I can't, bro. You can't. I'm completely. I don't have any words just because Ty Conti's expression. Those were my words. When I saw Ty Conti get that win on Nyla, and I saw her expression, like I really got this win. Yeah. What? Yeah. Yes, you got that. You deserve it.
Yeah, it shows that they have faith in her. You know, she's been delivering, and now we see her mix in this program because this is another storyline that crosses over into many sections too. Because after the match, Nyla is going to go and attack Ty Conti. Shida comes out, you know, in her white suit and the kendo stick, attacks Nyla. But as she's, you know, attacking Nyla, the bunny comes out and winds up attacking both Shida and Ty Conti. They're going to have a tag match next week on Dynamite. But it was really because, you know, at the behest of Matt Hardy, who has, you know, signed the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny into the Big Money Mafia, essentially. And we saw this later on, you know, after the TNT match where, you know, Matt Hardy and Butcher, Blade, and Bunny were attacking Dark Order, and Ty Conti came out too. So you can see that they have faith in what she can do, especially, you know, being allied with the Dark Order. Like, I'm glad that they're seeing her potential and are starting utilizing it. Like, NXT started like inching towards it, but it felt like they never fully trusted in what she can do.
Yeah.
But it looks like we're starting to see that here in AEW.
Yeah, there was a moment back when she was on NXT where I thought that she was going to get a legit push. They had turned her heel. She was using, you know, that judo persona on her. And it really it felt like it was doing well. I don't know what happened. But I'm glad that she's getting this opportunity to get over on AEW. And I hope it doesn't stop because I really want to see Tay Conti do well. I'm a huge fan of Tay Conti, and I'm glad that she's finally getting some of that recognition.
Oh, yeah. And especially, you know, kind of like what we saw with Zoe Stark and Io Shirai on NXT, aligning yourself with the, you know, women's champion. This is what's happening with Tay Conti. She's going to be teaming up with Shida to go up against Nyla Rose and the Bunny next week. So that's a nice little rub, too, to show that, you know, she can hang with these women, too.
Yes, absolutely.
In the title picture. So, you know, props to them really giving, you know, her that opportunity. And then speaking of opportunities, we are going to get the in-ring debut next week of one Christian Cage is going to be going up against Frankie Kazarian, because in an interview when he was talking with the Varsity Blondes and Dante Martin, Kaz interrupts and, you know, asks him, you know, hey, I like that motto, outwork everyone. You know, I kind of lived through the same thing, but when are you going to start working? So, of course, Chris is like, oh, I'll start next week. You know what? Why don't we have a match? Because, you know, alluding to their friendship from their time together in TNA. So, of course, he's like, yeah, that's great. But, hey, are you free on Monday nights? Yeah, you're free on Monday nights now. You know what you should do? You should check out my match on Dark Elevation, you know, and that way you can, you know, see what I can do, because we haven't seen each other in a long time. And 7 years is a long time to be out of the ring, referencing the time Christian was not wrestling in the WWE. So I thought that was a nice little clever play with words to from Kazarian to set up Christian Cage's debut match on AEW Dynamite next week. But we also, well, that's going to be the debut next week. We saw the debut of Pinnacle. The Pinnacle made their in-ring debut. FTR and Sean Spears took on Varsity Blondes and Dante Martin following that promo. And yeah, just kind of what we expected. I don't see the Pinnacle is going to be losing anytime soon. But when Tony Schiavone came out to interview them after the match, Wardlow just decimates poor Brian Pillman Jr. And now we got to hear, you know, last time we heard from Tully and we got to hear from MJF. This time they started off with FTR. So you actually had, I believe it was, I'm trying to remember who went first. Yeah, Dax first talked about how, you know, the Pinnacle is his family. He doesn't have a wife and kids at home. So these boys here in the ring, they're his family. Then Cash calls out Santana and Ortiz, or probably the other way around. But at this point, you know, they're calling out the members of the Inner Circle, and then MJF calls out Jericho. Of course, they're not going to come out because they got completely decimated last week. But MJF does have a special surprise for the Pinnacle next week, and it could possibly involve something with gold. But he did say the new motto of Pinnacle, when you're in the Pinnacle, you are always on top.
When he said that, I just went like, I was like, really? I'm like, I mean, I get it's a play on words because you're saying the same thing in the sentence. I get it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it just sounds like a commercial. Is that
that should be in the vodka commercial with Pinnacle, like when they started branding together.
When you drink Pinnacle, you're always on top.
Boom, money. That's money right there.
The check. There we go. That's money right there. But some other stuff went down on AEW, man. I did get to see the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler go up against the Lucha Bros with Laredo Kid, and Laredo Kid getting to win with the Spanish Fly, his version of Spanish Fly, because his version is amazing.
It's a lot better. Yeah. And of course, on poor Brandon Cutler, he was there to eat this pin hard. Like you already knew that was going to happen. But
poor guy.
Just like I was alluding to earlier, one Kenneth Omega happens to make his return, attacking Laredo Kid from behind, hitting him with the microphone, and then with the AEW Championship. And of course, the Young Bucks are like in the ring, confused on what's going on. And Kenny does a nice thing and calls back the first ever Fyter Fest, which was between these 6 guys. It was Omega and the Young Bucks versus Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid. So talk about how he had those flashbacks, and then that's essentially before they really fully formed AEW. And he told them, like, I didn't pick AEW. I chose you. I chose the Young Bucks, because we were going to make the greatest wrestling company on this planet.
I thought he was going to say, I didn't pick AEW. AEW picked me.
Right? It sounds like it was heading that way. But it's really just to continue to show just that separation that we've come over these, last 2.5 years, essentially, of, the Young Bucks and the Elite, and since the forming of AEW to where they are now, where he tries for one last time to throw it up. You have one more chance, but the Young Bucks walk away. And just as he's there, fine, I'm done, turns around, double super kick by the Lucha Brothers, which I thought was fantastic. And then, of course, they hit their package pile driver double stomp combo. Love that they laid out the AEW champion even after the Lucha Brothers had already called out the Young Bucks in a video promo at the beginning of the match with Alex Abrahantes doing the translation, which I love that he gets into character when he's translating for Penta. I think it's amazing. Hopefully we get more of that. But even after all of this, the Good Brothers come out after everybody had already left the ring. So good job, Good Brothers, trying to make the save. But of course, we are going to be getting a 6-man tag match next week, because we got 2 matches, 2 6-man tags tonight. We're going to get one next week where we're going to have Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers going up against the Lucha Brothers and the Laredo Kid. That's going to be another fantastic matchup between these guys. But
that's also a pay-per-view main event right there.
That just putting Kenny against either one of the Lucha Brothers, it's going to be amazing spots in that match.
Yeah, that's going to be one to watch next week. Can't wait.
Yeah, one match I'm not kind of looking forward to next week is the exhibition match between friends, between QT Marshall, who they give all this TV time to, and even alluded, I'm getting the TV time because I'm friends with Cody and, all that stuff. But essentially, it's showing his slow heel turn going up against the Nightmare Factory and the Nightmare Family, as we're going to be getting a exhibition friend-to-friend match with special guest referee Arn Anderson next week between Cody and QT, where Cody even says, I'm not going to hurt you. If I have you in a figure 4, I'm going to let it go. If I have you set up in the crossroads, I'm going to let you out of it. So, yeah, just continuing this, QT turning heel against Cody.
Why would you even announce that? Like, is it me, or is Cody's character or Cody himself getting annoying?
Yeah, it's like the overly goody two-shoe guy right now.
Like, why can't I just get badass Cody? Like, give me New Japan Cody. Give me Ring of Honor Cody. Like, I mean, I understand, like, you're handling a lot of business, but all this goody two-shoe stuff, I'm going to let you out of the crossroads. What wrestler tells you I'm going to let you out of my finisher? Or I'm going to let you out of my submission because out of the kindness of my heart. Listen, you're in AEW to get wins and get paid and get that record. You should not take QT Marshall lightly. That's all I'm going to say. Because QT Marshall is going to turn on you next week fully. fully.
Oh yeah. Remember when AEW
You're gonna be like, are you gonna be like, why? Why did this happen?
Who would have seen this coming? You should remember that they've been talking about AEW is going to be more sports oriented, where all wins and losses really matter. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, where did that go in the last 6 months?
Yeah, exactly. But speaking of Cody Rhodes and of the Pinnacle, of course, being on top, we are going to be getting a new show on TNT called Rhodes on Top. This is a special project that Brandi Rhodes has been working on since she, is not able to be in the ring as much as she's going through her pregnancy. But they showed a little snippet of it. So I think it's going to be very interesting to watch because it does have that behind the scenes feel of like Ms. and Mrs., but as opposed to just being about, their relationship and what's life like with kids and all that stuff, it's also going to be centered around, going through the pregnancy, but running a wrestling company and really showing a lot of the behind the scenes working and all the work that Cody and Brandi, do into running AEW. I'm really intrigued to see it. Plus, and she mentions it also, like, she is the first Black woman in the Rhodes family, and that's a lot of pressure on her too. So we're going to be able to see a lot of different storylines as compared to what we see in Ms. and Mrs., which is them two living their lives. You're going to be seeing a lot more, I think, deeper topics. Plus, you're going to see the inner workings of running a wrestling company from the eyes of Brandi Rhodes and Cody. So I think that's going to be an awesome show. I'm definitely going to have to check it out. So, congrats to them for getting that TV show and getting that opportunity and for allowing us, into their lives, essentially. So
that's great. I'm definitely looking forward to watching that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really good. But also speaking about really good, we're gonna be getting an Arcade Anarchy match. It's finally gonna be happening next week.
Oh, it's finally happening
between Mira and Kip Sabian and Chucky T and Orange Cassidy. They had a little video package, pretty much wrapping up their whole feud and giving the name to the match. The Arcade Anarchy match is going to be happening next week. So that should be entertaining to see. But we also did get a backstage promo with Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley. So Eddie has a broken something. I got a broken something. I don't know what it is. He has something broken in his leg. But of course, that's still not going to keep them from calling out Omega and the Good Brothers. But of course, Jon Moxley doesn't like having to owe anybody anything, and he does owe the Young Bucks one for coming and basically saving his life, as the Good Brothers were about to essentially decapitate him with the chair around his neck. But he does remind the Young Bucks, like, I'm not here to get involved in any of this Bullet Club drama or anything like that. But if you guys are going to be in this, you got to be ready to get your hands dirty. So I would not be surprised if after the 6-man tag match we see next week between Lucha Brothers, Laredo Kid, and Omega and the Good Brothers, we are going to see some, version of Moxley and the Young Bucks wind up interfering to set up the match between Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus Jon Moxley and the Young Bucks. So don't be surprised if if you see a little bit of that next week. But man, we do got to talk about the main event of the evening.
Here's a question.
Johnny Hungry, yes.
Since we're about to get into the Dark Order, Donald Cabral is asking, why has the Dark Order turned into the New Day AEW version? Rico, do you have an answer for that?
Who?
It's
a personality. It's a character. Dark Order. No, it's their personality shines through. They're naturally funny guys. If you watch BTE, you should, because it really does a good job of connecting storylines, plus just skits and stuff like that. It's just their personalities, man. Even though they're supposed to be, this really evil cult essentially that's going on.
That's what it was sold as when they first started.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to really turn heel and do something devastating, but now they're just funny and they're more enjoyable to watch than say the Retribution. So so I would still take Dark Order over Retribution. Still not as good as the New Day, but I just love that they gave the spotlight to John Silver. Somebody who's smaller in stature, so he actually matches really well with Darby Allin. And just watching some of the stuff he can do in the ring kind of reminded me, imagine if Daniel Bryan didn't focus so much on submissions and technical wrestling, and he just hit the gym, constantly. Imagine a little Daniel Bryan just jacked out.
Yeah, just jacked out of his mind.
That's what I saw from here, because some of the counters that he did against Darby Allin were amazing. He's really an untapped talent in AEW. We've seen parts of it in like the casino like the tag team battle royal. Like you get to see spots of it, but they really showcase it here against Darby Allin. Some of the things that he can do, which I thought was pretty amazing. The especially the spot where he countered the Stun Dog Millionaire into like a sleeper hold. A lot of the counters he had was really smooth. But of course, this is not going to be his night. Darby Allin, even after going, hitting the coffin drop on all of the Dark Order on the outside, Sting came out to really even the playing field with his one bat against, the other 8 members of the Dark Order that were there at ringside. It still came down to another counter as John Silver was going for the power bomb, in homage to one Brody Lee. Darby just countered that into the code red, and it was able to get the pin. But of course, it was after the match. Matt Hardy and Butcher and the Blade Bunny, they all started attacking. So this episode of Dynamite did a really good job of really intertwining, different storylines, but it making sense. Like nobody just came out without a reason. Like there was always a reasoning behind something that everybody did, and they still tied it all together, weaving the way in and out. And I really enjoy it because you don't want to miss a minute because you could see a next step to another part of the storyline by watching a different segment you weren't expecting. So props to Dynamite for really, just keeping a nice cohesive story throughout the night, especially going up against the great show that we saw from NXT and really building out that Stand and Deliver card. So it was a really great Wednesday night overall.
So if push comes to shove, Rico, which show delivered for you tonight?
I'm going to go with NXT just because like the announcement of the Battle Royal, Gauntlet Battle Royal, the promo between Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Adam Cole, such a believable heel, in his character, bro. When he cuts that promo is freaking amazing. So
I agree.
Jordan Devlin, getting to see Walter now on NXT proper. Like so many good things happen on NXT. I give it a slight edge.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. AEW was a good show, but I think that NXT was able to do just a little better just because they were really filling out the rest of the Stand and Deliver card. So with that being said, you had all these different promos with the storylines going on, especially with like Finn Balor and Cross. I thought that was a great interaction. Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, that was a great interaction. And then the matches that were announced, so the ladder match, the Battle Royale, Gauntlet Eliminator. So all these things are going down, and they're just hitting you left and right, left and right, left and right. And I thought that's what really gave NXT the edge tonight. Even though probably AEW got the viewership, but I thought quality-wise, I thought NXT did a better job with that. But Rico, the Wednesday Night War will be coming to an end very soon. And it has been confirmed after WrestleMania that NXT will be moving to Tuesday nights. That will not affect our show. We will still be going on Wednesday nights because we're still going to be covering AEW and NXT. But this time, we could digest it a little better.
Yes, I could watch both without having to get my attention split between each show. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, it's adding more to our plate because now there's literally something every single week for us to either watch or report on. So, it's adding more to our plate, but it's going to make it easier to really enjoy both parts of the product without feeling like we're shortchanging one just to, try to cram everything into seeing both and being able to deliver this debrief to you guys.
Yeah. Well, guys, that is it for our show tonight. We want to thank you for joining us for this 49 and 40 seconds worth of Sportskeeda debrief here on Facebook and on YouTube. For more, and if you're watching the replay, we want to welcome you to the show and thanks for watching. But make sure you follow us on all of our social media here on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that like button and subscribe bell. And if you're watching us on Facebook, make sure you hit the like, hit that share tonight's show in your favorite wrestling group, and make sure you tag your friends in the comment section so they can join into the conversation. And that's pretty much it. So for Rico El Glorioso, I'm Jose G. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good night. Y nos fuimos.
Good night, guys.